Let's hone in and talk about the amateur. I'll define him as a time crunched athlete because I think most amateurs will identify with we've conflicting demands on our time. We don't get out of bed and just ride our bike for the day. And if we have the three levers which you can pull: intensity, duration, and frequency, what order should we be pulling these levers across the training week to build this training plan for athletes?
I guess I'll just repeat the story that's become kind of typical. As I say, look, let's start with just somebody that's trying to go from basically not training to doing a sustainable session, and they can maybe do a 40K on the bike, and feel good about it, or it could be a 10K run. So I'm going to begin with frequency. I'm going to say, look, my first goal with you is to establish a habit. I may not say that to them directly, but I'm going to say, all right, for the next 6 weeks, all I care about is you get out the door a certain number of times a week. Now, let's agree on how many that is. And they're going to say, well, given that I'm the coach of the football team and I've got this and this and this, let's go for 3 days a week. I'm going to commit to that. Perfect. All right. So we're going to commit to that frequency, but now do it. Get out the door 3 times a week. You're gonna get challenged by it because you've got other stuff going on, but make that a priority, and let's talk and keep in touch. And so 6 weeks later, we get feedback and talk about it with each other. Yeah, I'm doing it. In fact, I'm not only doing it, but it's feeling like a habit, and I'm missing it the 1 or 2 times I haven't been able to get out the door. And I say, awesome. Now we got frequency going, and we kind of got a habit going. We've got a, it in the brain, exercise is a habit. So then I said, what have you been doing? Because I haven't asked them that before. All right. I haven't asked about how hard or how long. I said, all right, how long, what's your typical workout? I'm getting out and I'm doing walk, run for 30 minutes, or I'm able to ride for a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, but that's about it. It's been quick. Okay. Now I want you to try to at least one of those days to start with, let's stretch. It's still 3 days a week, but now we're going to start using duration, that second lever you talked about, because duration is a powerful lever from a biological point of view. There's a huge difference between 30 minutes and an hour and 90 minutes. It matters. So we can use that to our advantage, but that does add some time. So I say, all right, let's try to stretch one of those workouts. Now, if we're talking cycling, then we might try to stretch it to, say, a 90-minute ride over the next 6 weeks, okay? That's doable. In running, we'd probably say 60 minutes as a goal, initially. So now we're using that, and we're going to use another 6 weeks to slowly build that out. We're not going to do anything in a hurry, because that's another thing that people do wrong, is they get enthusiastic, but then they go out too hard and they get hurt.
Yeah.
Or they have a really bad experience, so they realize, man, I'm not in shape. No, you're not, because you haven't been doing very much. But it gets better. So we give them some time. So now we're 12 weeks in. What's 12 weeks? That's 3 months. And now we've got 2 levers working for us. And now, after 12 weeks, now I'm going to introduce that magic buzzword, intervals and intensity, but not before. And I think that's one of the most common mistakes that's made, is that we flip that. Of those 3 levers, what is the order that we use? We go out hard, so we use the intensity lever almost from day one, and then we get hit in the face with it. So after I've established some frequency and I've got them able to stretch and they're comfortable doing a 90-minute ride at a very aerobic pace and being able to talk to their friends, now I'm going to say, you know what? I know there's a hill on that favorite route you have. Let's introduce carefully some repeats up that hill, some interval training to try to push your heart rate up kind of maybe towards 90% and try to collect some minutes or accumulate some minutes doing that. So we're going to do it several times, but we're going to progress it carefully, okay? So that's that third lever. So in my head, and that's exactly what we see with elite performers, is what do? They're very good on frequency. They're consistent. They're getting out the door. It's every day. And then they are doing a lot of duration, I was just looking at some workouts from, World Tour teams today, and 8-hour rides. I'm looking at their power files. This is part of their day. This is what they're doing in January and February, preparing for the tour, for the Grand Tours. I'm looking at Grand Tour candidates, and they're doing the 8-hour rides, but they're not going hard every day. In fact, if I look at in isolation at the power output for that 8-hour ride, I say, well, you know what? I think I could do that, but not for 8 hours.
So if you like this video, you should definitely check out this video because I know you're going to love it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.